Well, as you do know, we have worked on a pretty major study called The Future of Public Relations and Communications and Their Social Impact. And it's been a pretty long study in the sense that it took about 6 months to complete. And it was a Delphi method study. That meant that we have asked participants from 23 countries initially, 21 completed, in 4 different rounds. What do they think about their current practice, but also what would they like to see when it comes to the future of public relations? And as you've said, Lithuania was part of the study. Two of wonderful colleagues of yours have been making it possible. So there's Lina and Renata. And what's really interesting, I mean, the study is major. There are multiple things, but two things struck me. While we have spoken about social impact and what that means for people, Lithuania there is in agreement with our English sample in the sense of defining social impact as actions and interventions that are taken to change the status quo, which is about above, basically, real and meaningful progress, right? So when we talk about social impact, it's changing things. We don't know exactly how, whether it's we assume for the better, but it's meaningful progress. And in this sense, Lithuania is in agreement with all our colleagues. What I found very interesting is that though when we talked about social value, the colleagues in Lithuania had agreed on 2 definitions for social value, although we have seen a preference in the English sample, so overall for one definition, and that was actions and interventions to change the status quo in a lasting way. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong bit. Social value it's about, let's go back. It's about what society considers, perceives, and attributes as valuable from the actions of an organization or profession, right? So in a sense, impact is what do we do to change things. Value is what do other people make of that change, what it means to them, right? And so in the English sample, you see that we talk about what does that mean for other people. What's really interesting in the Lithuanian sample is that social value, there's an additional definition that came out, which is about shared community morals and ethics and programs that we all might think that they are intrinsically worthy. And it's incredible because this didn't quite make sense to me until I came to Vilnius. And you know that I've been in Vilnius last week, and I had an hour, really an hour. So I went to the portal of the Grand Duke Palace of Lithuania, and I saw this plakat explaining of how Lithuania came about, and this idea of how what Lithuania committed basically as a group of people in becoming a country, and this idea of common shared values is what was written there. And so you see, research sometimes, particularly when it's international, and it has a collaborative aspect like ours, really needs demystifying, really needs putting into context. Maybe for Lina and Renata, this made absolute sense, when they looked at the data. To me, it needed, a deeper a deeper acculturation, so a deeper immersion into Vilnius and its history, in order to understand that that is something intrinsically Lithuanian. This idea of seeking what is common and working towards maintaining it. So for communicators, therefore, this is quite important because this means that when we talk about theorizing of public relations and practice, we currently talk about a transition from this idea of serving organization to serving society and leaving a positive legacy to others, so more than serving organizational requests and impact. And you see that in a sense is met because there seems to be something in the Lithuanian cultural fabric and history that supports that transition. And hopefully, it will make it easier and resistance is not going to be as high as it might be in other parts of the world. This is in a nutshell. I know our time is limited. The study is available online. So if colleagues are interested, by all means, find my very easy name of annaadi.net. Go to that website. You can download it. You can read it. You're more than free, you as well, to disagree with it. And this idea of being civil in our disagreement, but explaining it and expressing it nonetheless, I think is what's important to get us forward. So by all means, do that.
What is your advice for public relations specialist?
Stop being a servant. Um, I've spoken that very often. I know it sounds very harsh. Um, we've moved away from times when I do acknowledge the dependency and the importance of whoever hires you and supports you. Yet as a communicator, um, there's so many decisions that we help either make or facilitate that have long-term impact, that this is not just a job. And I think if any communicator would start seeing this as being part of their responsibility to make a future, and that they're accountable for the future that we're making, maybe we would grow a backbone. um, for young people, I think it's highly important that they're supportive in their dissent and criticism. And for whoever is in a management position, I think finding ways for civil disagreement, for ways in which we can differ and express that difference, is highly important. And I think far too long we were told as communicators that consensus and agreement is what we need, forgetting that there are multiple conflicts, as in, disagreement. We're not aligned. We don't see things the same way. And that has brought a lot of heartache in a sense, a lot of stress to communicators, because, all of us want a nice world. If you start seeing the world as the product of debates, as the product of not necessarily consensus, but of finding a way to navigate through disagreement, but sticking to principles, to things that are important, maybe we'll have, a world where comms is not polarizing, but rather getting us to be more accountable. So that's what I'll wish. I wonder how we'll get there. But that's my daily project too.